Hi, KEIKO.
Hi.
I actually call you Mama K. Okay, I invited you here to share your life, actually, to talk more about you, because you are one of the most interesting person. You know so much. You can answer so many questions. And I remember you taught me one thing when I was pregnant. You said to me, no one will know your kids better than yourself. And I still carry that with me. I was like, no one will know. I know what he needs.
You do.
Yeah.
You're like connected.
Yeah.
You're completely connected to your kids. Even if you don't know,
Yeah.
you know.
I know.
Right? Like even if you don't know exactly what it is, you know that there's something going on.
Somehow.
Yeah,
and
somehow.
I was like, KEIKO taught me that. So listen. You've actually inspired me a lot because we've known each other for about over 10 years.
Yeah.
Right? Over 10 years. You've been through my life as the worst because I was a little cuckoo then when you met me, right?
I think you're going through a lot.
Yeah.
You're going through a lot. It was definitely a lower period in your life.
My divorce, and then I met you, and then we had some crazy nights at your house.
Yes.
Yeah. I had to go through therapy. Yeah. But you helped me a lot, taught me a lot as well, said, because you were so supportive. So supportive. And yeah, here I am asking you about more questions and more about life, right?
Yeah. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. So we've known 10 years. You homeschool. She has 3 kids. You have 3 kids, 2 boys, 1 daughter.
Yeah.
And you homeschool.
I do. Or I did.
You did.
Because 2 of them are done high school.
I know. I'm like, how do you do it? Because like for me, even to teach Romance homework, I feel like I can't do it properly.
Yeah.
How?
So I feel like, okay, the way we homeschooled is not what everyone did during COVID. I
Yeah.
think that's like crisis schooling.
Yeah.
And we definitely didn't try to replicate school at home.
Right.
We took what we call unschooling approach.
Yeah.
Which was not focusing on academics.
Yeah.
And then we focused on building character. We focused on allowing them to just experience life and do kid stuff, go to the beach, learn to ride a bike, cook together. I mean, more, I guess, Montessori approach with practical life skills. So we did that. So it's different. It's different from sitting down and like trying to get homework done.
But what made you choose, like you and Jason have this decision of going, okay, let's homeschool?
I don't think that it was a conscious decision to homeschool.
Right.
Like, Tyler was born with a lot of health problems.
Yeah.
And the boys are only 16 months apart. And I think at the time, Tristan was in a Montessori class. I think it was a CASA class.
Yeah.
And, Tyler needed a lot of therapy, a lot of support.
Yeah.
So I took Tristan out of school and we just focused on getting Tyler the care that he needed.
Right.
And I think that sort of evolved into homeschooling. It wasn't like a conscious decision. We weren't like, oh, we're going to homeschool these kids. It was more like, okay, what are we doing with them? What are we doing with them?
Right.
And then there was quite a lot of pressure, a lot of questions. Like, what are you doing with your kids? Where are they going to go to school? You know, in Hong Kong, we do it a certain way.
Yeah.
And us being Canadians, I didn't feel like we needed to, I felt like we had more time.
Right.
And say in Toronto, you don't start school
Till
until
5, right?
5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
something like that. And so I was like, oh, well, when they're 2,
Yeah.
why do we need to decide now?
Right.
So I think I started off just saying like, oh, we just homeschool them. And I thought that was going to kind of ease off the pressure. But then it was the reverse. There were like so many questions. People would come up to me and be like,
Would you
what
like
is homeschooling?
Do you feel judged though?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think not so much judged. I feel like there was just a lot of curiosity and like misunderstanding.
Right.
So like people just wanted to know what I was doing and they
How?
had like a whole list of concerns and I would literally have exactly the same concerns and I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
But in that not knowing what I was doing is where we figured out what we would do for our kids in their best interest.
I love that. Because, I mean, Rian started like pre-nursery at 2. He's a small little kid going. It's cute. I mean, for me to see the society, it's what Hong Kong is like. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it is, you know, I followed the system.
Yeah.
Healthy, not healthy, I mean, who am I to say? But he's young, he's in school. But I see your kids like being so independent, and you taught them well. You've got good eggs. You do have good eggs. Like they're such good boys. Yeah. Such good boys, and Ella's such a good girl. There's just, you guys are so tight, and because you've moved now, you did move during COVID time. Yeah. It was a lockdown, and then you were on holiday for the longest time. We're like, when are you coming back? Yeah, because you were saying you went backpacking, and then it just locked down, and then you stayed in Thailand.
We did. We were doing what we call world schooling.
Yeah.
And so we would travel with the kids and, take them to museums, let them do classes there, eat different kinds of foods, experience different cultures. And then COVID hit, and it totally shook up our life, and we started this whole different path in Thailand. But it's so funny that you say, like, my kids are good, because I feel like the only objective I had raising my kids was for them not to listen to me, not to be good.
Right.
I didn't want them to be obedient. I didn't want them to listen to the rules. I really wanted them to express, internally what was important to them.
Right.
And if they could explain it, I would accept it.
Yeah.
So I didn't want them, it wasn't good enough for them to agree with me on a topic.
Right.
I really wanted to know why they were agreeing with me, or why they were listening.
Right.
I really kind of dug deeper with them.
Yeah.
So if they didn't have an answer, then I would be
then
like,
you're wrong.
Yeah, then I would be like, well, figure it out. Like, don't listen to me just because I told you to do something.
Right.
Like, listen to me because it makes sense to you. And if what I say to you doesn't make sense to you, then you shouldn't do it.
Right.
And so I think from a really young age, I didn't focus on them being good.
Right.
But the end result is that they're beautiful
humans.
There's
I've learned now. Roman, don't listen to me.
Yeah, don't listen to me. I'm
joking.
I have no answers.
Yeah.
I have no answers to life. I have no answers on how to live a good life.
Right.
The only thing that I can teach you or give you space is to figure out who you are and what is the life that you want to learn.
See, she's just so good to listen to. Like, everything you say, you're like, I always have this thing when KEIKO talks. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You are right. And now look at them. I mean, one is still in Thailand, right? Doing his swimming.
Yes. So
he's a pro now.
Competitive swimmer. He's not a pro.
No, but for me, he's a pro. You see his body, like.
He has a goal that he wants to do this one last competition before he moves in to the next phase of his life.
Right.
So that's one more year for him. And then Tyler moved back here in September. He's in culinary school. It's a Bachelor of Science program.
Right.
Specializing in culinary arts. And that was also super random. Like, at the beginning of this year, we had no idea that Tyler was going to be in culinary school.
Right.
It was something that just evolved. And I really believe that when you are focusing on yourself, so when he's focusing, each person is focusing on themselves. Yeah. And they decide what they want to do, the world does come together to create that path.
Listen, you.
You really have to trust each person's journey, and you can't take somebody on a journey.
Right.
You can only allow them to journey their own journey. Right? So for Tyler, he decided that he was going to stop the swimming and that he was going to do this culinary program. Yeah. If he got in. Right. And so all he did was apply. And then he got in.
Amen. Right? Amen. Yeah. It worked out.
So random.
Yeah.
Everything that has been amazing, I think, in life has been something that was random.
Right.
Like manifested from
the universe.
Just what they wanted. Yeah.
It worked out, didn't it? And Ella, yes?
Ella is a competitive sailor.
Yeah.
And she's also an artist. She loves to draw and paint. She's 12. The only thing that she's working on right now is figuring out how to take care of herself, how to follow through on the things that she says that she's going to do. And I think, you know, it takes time.
I feel like somehow, like, what I've learned from you is teach them early on to be independent.
Yeah.
And that's so important because at a young age, they were cooking and they were cleaning themselves and they were doing things, you know, by themselves.
Yeah.
Early age, they took the MTR, they did this, they did that. And we're like, what? He took the MTR by himself? You remember?
Yeah.
Me and John were like, what? He's coming out to find us by himself? We were kind of shocked.
Yeah, it's like whatever they wanted to do,
Yeah.
I made it a reality that they could do it.
Right.
Because I felt like when kids say they want to do something, it's either you find a way to make it a possibility, or when you say no, it's not really just the no, it's the messages that you convey to them.
Right.
So I remember when Tristan wanted to fly to Canada to visit his grandparents by himself. He was 7. And obviously the initial reaction was like, no, you can't go. You're too young.
Too young.
But there was something that he, you know, brought up many times. And I realized in those moments, it's either I'm going to facilitate his dream at that moment was to be able to fly by himself and go visit his grandparents.
Right.
Or I was going to inadvertently give him the message that I didn't believe that he could do it.
Right.
And so when you look at it like that, then I had no choice but to support him because I didn't want to give him the message that he couldn't do it. Me not wanting him to go was more based on what I was afraid could happen or would happen with him being at that age by himself. But it had nothing to do with his skill set as a person. And so then I had to figure out how to get over my fears and support his
And you
journey.
made it happen.
And we made it happen. He went on a unaccompanied minor,
Yeah.
and he had the best time.
Yeah.
And I think like from that every time, like not just kids, but like as adults too, every time we do something that we maybe don't know if we can do it or not, like the possibility, we're kind of like, oh, I really want to do this, but I don't really know if I can.
Right.
Every time we overcome that I don't know if I can and we do something, we expand as people. And so with the kids, it's really for me, I was like, I just don't want to be the one that's oppressing you.
Right.
If you believe you can do it, who am I to say that you can't?
Right.
Right? If you believe, and like kids, you know, like they're dreamers. They have huge dreams.
Right.
If they believe that they can do it, I cannot not support that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like me telling Roman, I was like, if you believe you can, you can.
You can.
It's like even law of attractions, even my friends are like, oh, I was like, you gotta believe. It's not here yet, but believe. It's the power, law of attraction.
Yeah.
Man, it sucks, man. Money's not coming in. Life is getting hard. Well, the more you think about it, the more, you know, it's just, it ain't gonna be well. You're just gonna go downhill. So, but you taught for me to look at it. I was like, Roman, are you sure? Okay, cool. But you're
I think
like,
as parents, like the one thing that I've learned is not to transfer my fears to them.
right.
So it's like, yes, I may be afraid that they're going to fall down or make a mistake, but that's not their reality. That's my reality based on my life experiences. And so whenever I take my fear and I put it into, you know, we all give our kids a little backpack, right?
Yeah.
And we fill it with like love and we fill it with support and we give them a little bit of anxiety and then we give them a bit of fear and we, you know, put in all of these things, trauma, you know, like all of these things. And then that bag becomes really heavy and these kids carry that backpack 30 years, 40 years, 50. I mean, we have our own backpack of stuff that our parents gave us, right?
Yeah.
And I think for my kids in their journey, I just realized like, I'm going to take my fear back. That's not your fear.
Yeah.
Those are my fears.
Yeah. You taught me that when we like early on. There's some stuff you just have to throw away.
Yeah.
It doesn't belong to them.
Yeah.
What belongs to us was our problem.
Yeah.
So don't put it in their bag.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's
Which
okay
is true.
if you put into their bag by accident at any point in the journey. And I have older kids now.
Right.
At any point, when you realize, you literally can go to them and say, hey, I gave that to you. It wasn't meant for you, and I'm going to take it back. And you relieve their burden.
Right.
So you can do this at any point in your parenting journey. Like it's
Yeah.
not so fixed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's flexible.
Yeah.
You can make mistakes.
I know. I mean, as well said, I tell Roman, I was like, son, you know, sometimes mommy might be wrong as well. You know, you're my firstborn, you know,
Yes.
and then I'm a mom for the first time. So I make mistakes, you know, and when I do, I do apologize. Mommy is sorry. You know, I'm sorry for causing those little mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's so much more real.
Yeah.
Like kids need parents that make mistakes, because if you're a parent that never makes any mistakes, you teach your kids that they cannot make mistakes.
Correct.
So the more mistakes you make as a parent that you can own, the greater freedom you give your kids
Wow.
to try and experience, and then also apologize and
Yeah.
make amends when they do make mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not meant to be perfect.
We're not.
No.
And it's okay.
It's totally okay.
She always, you always remind me, you're okay. You're beautiful. You're kind.
You are.
But those were the days when we drank a little, and now
we drank a lot.
We drank a lot then.
It's an honest podcast.
Yeah,
right?
honest podcast. We drank a lot. No, you drank a lot.
I drank a lot.
But now you have cut out alcohol.
I did.
Yeah.
For the last 2 years,
Yeah.
I have not really drank. I don't drink anymore. I think there were some life choices I had to make at the time, because I was single parenting in
Right.
Thailand by myself. And with the swimming program and having to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning, the boys are up at 4:30. You know, it just didn't fit into my lifestyle.
Right.
And so I had to make some choices because I realized that my drinking was not making me a strong member on their team.
Right.
And that was okay. If I wanted to continue to drink, I think that I needed to replace me with somebody so that they could have a strong team.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like when you realize that maybe you're the weakest link
Right.
on your kid's team, then you either make some choices or you fill it with something else so that they're not suffering the consequences of who you are, right?
That's why now it's like, it's not, I don't like to drink or go out anymore. I feel like I've wasted another day. I feel horrible.
Yeah.
But it's just spending those days with my kids. Like, even I tell my friends, like, I feel like I'm a better person. And I feel like I need to walk on their, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
be with their standards as well.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I still have a little fun sometimes, but
I think there's like no judgment.
Yeah.
Everybody makes choices that are right for them. And I also think that you can't do things for other people. So you can't, for example, say, I don't drink because of somebody, or I'm doing it for somebody else.
Right.
I think it really has to be a decision that you make for yourself. And I think for me, I was just recognizing that I wasn't able to show up the way that I wanted to show up
right.
as a drinker. And so, you know, not a big deal. I cut it out. I didn't really have like huge thoughts about it. I just realized like that 4 o'clock wake up was really difficult
Right.
as a drinker. And then I was also not here or there. So it's like when I was doing the stuff with the kids, I would be thinking about, you know, like meeting some friends later on for happy
Right.
hour or whatever. And then when I was drinking, I would be like, oh my God, I got to go home because I got to be up in a few hours. Like I was just not here nor there. And in that conflict, it just created so much like dis-ease within me. I didn't feel settled. So I was like, it's okay. I'm just going to cut the alcohol for now. And then I'm just going to do this mom thing. But what happened was when I cut the alcohol, I realized that there were so many things that I wasn't, that I hadn't processed through my life.
Yeah.
A lot of traumas, experiences. I wasn't good at handling stress. I was emotionally immature. I would get like emotional flooding, like things would stress me out. And so I didn't realize, because I wasn't consciously choosing alcohol as my coping mechanism. I didn't actually know that I was coping. I thought I was doing great.
You're like, woo! I was like, this lady can drink, okay?
And I was having a great time.
Yeah.
Super great time.
We're going home. You're like, yes, see you later. I'm going somewhere else. I'm like, whoa.
Some of the best times.
It was the best time. Yeah.
Some of the super best times. And I think it was only when I stopped drinking, I realized, oh, actually, I have a lot of personal growth that I need to do. Like I didn't know, because drinking was like, if you drink every day, you don't really face yourself, because at the end of the day, you'd grab a drink. For me, it was like a lot. It's like not one drink. It was like maybe 12 drinks, 14 drinks. It was quite a lot of drinks. After 14 drinks, I mean, life seems amazing, right? Like you don't have to think about anything.
Yeah.
And so I did that for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was only in stopping the drinking that I was like, oh, that thing that happened like 15 years ago, I'm still holding it.
Yeah.
It didn't go away.
Yeah.
I'm actually not amazing. I'm dealing with a lot of stuff.
So during the 2 years of being sober, you've dealt with most of your traumas now, right?
Well, I think it's like a lifelong journey.
Yeah.
I don't like healing.
Right.
I think it's a lifelong journey.
But in the midst of it, I mean, now, my goodness, you teach ice bath, I talk about that, because I went to one of our ice baths and I cried like a little baby. Everyone, you need to find KEIKO, because she just takes you out from her. Like, you got me. Like, I'm like, we had such a moment there.
We did.
We had like, because I know you as well. I feel like we know each other's story. And then once I got in the ice, I was like, I couldn't stop crying, and you were crying. It was just very emotional, but I felt like it was so good for my soul and my body. It was just so good.
Yeah, it was an emotional release.
Yeah.
I teach breath work and cold meditation, meditation and ice bath. And I think it's a form of somatic healing. So we can, in our brain, understand logically why something happened, or why we behave a certain way. But those traumas and stresses are stored within our body.
Right.
And so, when those feelings come up, most of the time we take the internal stress and we kind of press it back down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we use huge amounts of energy to hold this ball of, I'm fine, it's okay, don't worry about it, I got it, I'm not going to think about it. We hold that in.
Yeah.
With somatic healing, what we do is give ourselves an opportunity to let that come up to the surface.
Right.
And all you're doing is releasing it.
Right.
And when you have that emotional release, all of that energy that you were using to suppress and hold in, you claim that energy back to yourself. And I think with the cold meditation, it's just a form of somatic healing to allow you to go really deep. It's such a raw experience.
It is.
That, when you're in ice bath, you really cannot, on a day-to-day basis, we have a mask that we wear.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm good. Like, I got this. I'm on top of it.
Yeah.
We put our best foot forward.
Of course.
But when you go into an ice bath and you're in that kind of deep breathing state, you are actually a very vulnerable, raw version of yourself. And in that state, you can allow all of these feelings to come to the surface and let it out.
Yeah.
And so it's incredibly healing.
It is.
And powerful.
You guys should try it. I'm not joking. I'll put a link on, go find KEIKO. Because for me, I mean, I was telling John, my goodness, I don't know how to explain to you. Felt so good. It's just like, I feel like it came back. I mean, different stress. But then I believe if we did that, like every couple months, it's just this releasing all the bad stuff you have. Every emotions and stuff is all hidden inside.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And just let it go.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that couple of weeks I was like, woo, I'm a new person.
It's time for you to come back.
Yeah.
I do it every week.
Yeah.
I'm an ice bath every week. And because, like that you accumulate things. And life is not meant to be without challenge or pain. Life is full of challenges. Life is full of pain.
Yeah.
But it is, how do we take care of ourselves in a way where we can face the pain and struggle in a way that is healthy for us.
Right.
And I think there's not a lot of safety, I think, in general, day-to-day life for people to really express the things that they're going through. I think we always or often give a diluted version of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then so we reserve that certain level of pain for ourselves. And if you don't allow your body to let it go,
right,
all of that is just causing so much
stress,
tension. It's stress. It's toxic for your body.
Yeah.
And so I think with the somatic healing, it's not really about making your life less stressful.
Yeah.
It's more about how do you build resilience within yourself.
Yeah.
And when you do difficult things, like we were talking about with the kids, when you do difficult things, you expand your idea of what you believe is possible for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's how you get stronger, more resilient. It's like growing your muscles.
Yeah.
Yeah. But your emotional muscles.
Yeah.
Your mental muscles. Right?
It was a good cry.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yes.
Like even your body, I mean, all the good stuff about being having an ice bath, it's good for your circulation. Apart from that, you just mentally go in. Like I didn't expect it. I thought it was just, okay, I'm gonna support KEIKO. Let's try this out, But it was so much more, so much more than just like beating a time. You're like, I did this over. I mean,
because actually in a meditation state, you didn't realize the time was going by. It wasn't about the time.
No, it wasn't about the time.
It was, you were having this kind of internal journey. And actually in that time space, like the time kind of stops because you don't realize you're no longer focusing on the time.
Yeah.
You're like,
focus on your breathing.
In this space within you. I don't know.
It's amazing. Amazing thing you're doing. Now you're
amazing.
getting a certificate. What are you doing now other than teaching like ice bath and stuff?
What am I getting a certificate in?
I don't know. I thought you were doing this what did you just say you were doing?
Oh, trauma.
Yeah. I'm like, what?
So I finished the certification like long time ago. So it's not something I'm working on now, but I'm a trauma-informed coach. So I actually help my clients work through traumas. And that can start anywhere from childhood all the way through to, something that maybe you've experienced recently.
You helped all our friends go through so much trauma, you know that? All our friends been through a lot.
I think that in helping others go through their trauma, a portion of my trauma is also healed.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's like taking skills that helped me kind of elevate where I am and how I view my life. And just sharing that with other people.
Right.
So that I kind of do my part in making a difference.
I did. Because you helped, we have a group. We were called the Yoga Babes. Not that we always do yoga, but it was a bunch of us that did yoga. So I mean, you helped a lot of us deal through a lot of our problems. And it worked. It's always good talking to you. And come on, you hooked me up with John.
I love that.
You love that, didn't you?
I love that.
Because I met John, and then I was telling KEIKO, no, you were there when I met John. Yes, you were there. And then I was telling KEIKO, oh my goodness, I just met this guy. You're like, oh, him, I know him. So you and Emily, one of our friends, hooked us up, like not hook us up, but you guys try to set like as many dates as possible for us to make this happen.
I think like as soon as so I knew John separately from you, and he's He's such a beautiful-hearted person.
He is.
And there's one thing that I think both of you guys, this quality that you have is you're both actually really earnest and sincere. It's so true. And like, like we would hang out and, we'd have these like discussions about life, and just I got to know him. And very similarly, like, okay, so I'm not really a matchmaker, but as soon as I knew you were interested, then I was like, yes. Okay, let's kind of bring this together. So I'm not really like matchmaking, but giving you guys opportunities to hang out.
Right.
But you both have this quality of, you're like such good-hearted people.
Oh, thank
and like
you.
So honest with your life experiences and how you feel. And I love that you guys are together.
Oh, thank you. We're still a little bit crazy, a crazy couple, but thanks for that. Yeah. As for Emily, Emily was a friend that we both knew. You actually knew Emily longer than I have, way longer.
Yeah, I knew her in high school. She was younger than me.
She's one of our friends that passed away.
Yeah.
Wow, how many years ago? 4?
Yeah.
4 years ago.
During COVID.
Yeah. Man, we miss her, man. Yeah. She was a good soul.
She was a beautiful person.
Yeah.
She was such a mom.
Yeah.
Like she took so much joy in
Of being a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did.
Loved Bella so much. I feel like throughout this, it actually brought us more closer, and things like we appreciate each other. Not that we didn't.
Yeah.
But she was so close that it was like, wow.
Yeah.
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 It was.
I think for me, like, she just made me appreciate life.
Yeah.
Like that, take nothing for granted, and not to like worry about the small stuff.
Yeah.
Like and then also like, I mean, I didn't realize it at the time, but she lived her life really authentically.
Yeah.
Like she was so herself.
Yeah.
Like
sometimes we're like, come on. Huh?
Like sometimes I felt like it was a lot. Like I was like, oh my God. And she was just so over the top, like, trying to live her best life.
Yeah.
Regardless of what she was going through.
Right.
She just wanted to live this beautiful, amazing life. And, I think she was very real person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
genuinely
she was a good
beautiful
person. Yeah. Always be missed. I remember the trauma I had because I was filming, and I was crying literally in the car because I couldn't see her because I was working in China, but devastating.
Yeah. And also like my kids, oh my God, telling my kids she had passed was so horrible because they were very, very close. We saw each other every weekend.
Yeah.
Our kids grew up together.
Yeah.
It was really like family.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just these little things make you appreciate friendship more.
Yeah.
Appreciate life, And
the time you have together.
Yeah. I mean, even now, sometimes I feel like when your age, I don't feel old, but I am getting older, right? So that's saying, I don't feel old, but I am getting older. And it's just people around me passes, and it's devastating. People get sick, and it's just very overwhelming. And sometimes I still can't deal with the process about how do I deal with this?
I think for me, like 40s has been really raw, really real.
Yeah.
It's like the pain you go through is like so different from when you're like in your 20s or 30s. It's just, it gets, and a lot of the time, like, when, for example, like when people pass, it's like, it doesn't get better. You just have to learn to live with it.
Yeah.
It's like you go through this really painful experience and there is no making it better.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's been the toughest part of being older. Yeah. And also like with older kids.
I know.
Like that time is gone.
I know.
You don't get it back.
I've been getting so emotional like lately. I've been like been on IG watching all the little videos about kids, you know, and people film like messy house and then it doesn't go messy anymore or this and that. And then you're like, oh my goodness, they're gonna grow up so fast.
They
like my
definitely-
kids.
Yeah.
Like it scares me to have like one day, I even tell John, I was like, I can't imagine my life. I mean, it'll be good for us because we never had that really long time as husband and wives. But then it's just be, wow. It's just, it'll be a lot.
It'll be a lot. I think there was a podcast, I can't remember, it's like an Australian podcast, and one of the ladies was reading a poem or story, and it talks about like how, you know, like you can never get back the version. It's like you love this person,
Right.
4-year-old this person, 5-year-old this person, 6-year-old this person, and you can never go back
Right.
and see that version of them again. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
I know. I'm like, why? I feel emotional lately. It's like the little footsteps doesn't become little you know, and then you're like, oh my goodness. It's
And then they
scary.
grow and they grow and then they grow and they live their lives independently of you.
Yeah.
And it's like such a heartbreak.
Yeah, like they don't need you.
They don't
I'm
need
like,
you.
No.
And they're not supposed to need you.
Right.
They're supposed to go on and move on and live their lives. And that means you did a good job.
Right.
And so it's this very heartbreaking, equally proud feeling.
Right.
I really feel it's like the extreme. You're like extremely happy and joyful.
Yeah.
And then so completely heartbroken at the same time
Yeah.
that this journey is actually coming to a different phase.
Yeah.
And like you can't ever go back and see those people again.
I know.
But you loved every single version of them.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like even them, your kids telling you, Mom, yeah, it's your time now. You go do your thing.
Yeah.
I like, wow. I would be like, because Roman is still at an age where like, Mommy, don't go.
Yeah.
Where are you going? And then one day he'll just gonna be like, Ma, you go do your thing. And I'll be like, what? Did you call me?
It's such a strange, I feel like motherhood is such a strange journey.
Yeah.
You know, like it really stretches you as a person.
Yeah.
I've never been so angry in my life.
Yeah.
And I've never been so,
So
happy
happy.
and joyful and full of love in my life. It just literally takes you and goes, "Wah."
all over the
Extreme.
place.
So then you're like,
yeah. Yeah.
crazy. Like,
I know. That's so crazy though. I don't know how it works. Just that moment of joy and then that anger. I can't, yeah.
and you know, like I always say, like that anger that you experience, and we all have mom rage, right?
Yeah.
We all experience that, like, I'm so mad at you. It is really just reflective of how much you love this person. Because if you didn't love them, you wouldn't care.
Right.
You wouldn't care what they're eating. You wouldn't care what they're doing. You wouldn't care about whether or not they're building their character.
Right.
And so I always, like when I talk to other parents, I always say, like, don't judge yourself
Yeah.
on your anger.
Yeah.
We all make, moments of anger. We all have our mistakes, whatever we did. But it's really in those moments, it's a pure reflection of your love. Maybe
Yeah.
it's expressed in an unhealthy way,
Yeah.
but the base feeling internally is just pure love
Right.
for this other person, right? And that journey of becoming a better person so that you can love your kids in a healthier way
Yeah.
is part of the journey of motherhood, right? Because if I love you and I don't work on myself, then I will take that love and turn it into this really crazy, maybe oppressive
Right,
or
right.
controlling thing, right?
Yeah.
But if I can go back and say, hey, I love this person so much, how can I work on my issues so that I don't express my love in this way? Right? I think it's like motherhood is less about the kids and more about our own internal
Yeah.
journey.
I feel like that too. Still learning. I mean, for mom, like I'm still learning every day.
I'm still learning
Yeah.
every day. Oh my gosh.
As we said, right? 40s hasn't been the easiest for us both. I mean, kids are still young. Like yours are older, but we're still striving. It's been a hard year working, earning money. Because for me and you, we both need to work to sustain the family.
Yeah.
We help our husbands, and to be fair, honestly, and we love to work. Like I love to work. I need that time to work, right? And I love it. Definitely hasn't been easy, but we're hustling.
I don't think it's meant to be easy.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah.
I think that our idea, and I think I figured this out over the last 4 years, was that the only time I really grew was when it was so hard. And if I didn't go through those tough moments, those tough experiences, I wouldn't be who I am now.
Right.
And, a huge portion of my life was maybe trying to be comfortable and avoiding the difficult things. But I think that there's purpose to the pain.
Yeah.
Like it's not for nothing.
Yeah.
It's like when people go to the gym and you work out, if you don't use the heavy weights, you don't feel sore. You actually don't gain anything. Right. And I think it's applicable to like life in general, is that the pain is not purposeless.
Right.
It will all add up somewhere. Even if it's not for you, somewhere down the line in your family, for your kids. I don't think it's meant to be easy.
And believe it's gonna get better.
Yeah.
It will.
Yeah.
That's how I was telling. We were having a conversation before the other way. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be better.
It's gonna be better. But I also, I recently told a friend, I said, when we go through something really difficult and painful, I think because life is just in polarities, right?
Yeah.
So however deeply you go in challenge or pain, it means that the equal opposite exists. Right? So if I only experience this level of hardship, it's not that painful.
Yeah.
Then my ability to have the polar opposite also is limited. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like a circle.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah,
as
yeah,
long
yeah,
as
yeah.
you have to just trust. It's like, I'm going through so much crap right now. That circle is rotating, and then the equal opposite amazingness is on its way.
It's
and
coming.
It's there. It's coming.
Can you hurry a little bit, please? When are you coming?
I'm always like, okay, what's the lesson that has to be learned? Let me learn it quick.
Hurry, please.
I'm a good student. Okay, give me the lesson. Let me learn it.
Yeah.
And then let's move on.
Let's move on. So how do you balance all this now? Okay, you used to be a photographer. Actually, you helped our first baby, Roman. We had the best family pics, okay?
Aww.
You did that for us. You used to be a photographer. Now, you teach. And how do you balance all this with the kids? How do you do it?
I think I realized there's not really any balance. There's no balance.
Oh.
I think this is some idea that people, it sounds good, so you put it out there and everybody chases balance. I don't think, I think when you're like growing a business, when you're growing your kids, I think you're all in.
Right.
Right? It's not like how do I explain it? When you talk about balance, it kind of seems like it's supposed to be like this kind of you're good at both of it, and you're running it in this kind of very smooth way.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's like that. I think like when you raise your kids, you're all in, you're highly invested, you're in it.
Oh,
when you're building your business, you are all in, you're building it. That's the only way to go.
Yeah.
And I think it's just what it is. At one point in time, at any given point in time, if I'm giving my kids my all, I'm not giving my business my all. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And when I'm focusing on my business, I'm not giving my kids the best version of me. So this whole idea that there's balance, I don't buy into it. There's no balance. It's more, where am I putting my energy and focus in that moment?
Yeah.
And to be okay with the consequences of that decision.
Right. Right.
So it's the same thing that I teach my kids. If you want to be good at something, you have to invest the time and energy to do it. You sacrifice that time from everything else. Time with your family, time with your friends, time studying, whatever it is. And you give your all to that one thing that you're working on, right? And, you know, I think you gain better results that way.
Yeah.
Than saying, okay, I'm going to try a little bit of this, and then I'm going to do a little bit of this, and I'm going to be a little bit of this, and then you spread yourself really thin.
Yeah.
Right? Every decision you make. So if I choose to start a business when I have kids, that means I choose to be okay with the fact that I'm not going to be the greatest mom in some moments.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be there.
Yeah.
And to make peace with that, I think the idea that, you know, it's just, there's no perfect.
Yeah.
Balance gives you this idea that it's like, oh, it's so zen and perfect.
I'm going to do so well. Yeah, you're the first one. Normally I say, how do you balance your life? People are like, yeah, this and well, which is so true. Yeah. You're right. Because like, when I'm filming, when I take up a job, I'm, you know.
You're filming. You're all there.
I'm all there. You're right.
You're completely committed.
Right.
If they're calling you, if they need you, you're not there.
Yeah.
This idea that I should be present in my job and then also available to my kids whenever they want to, it just doesn't exist. We're human.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And if I'm full-time mom, I'm always there.
Yeah.
When they need me, I'm there. I'm there when they get home. I'm there when they go to sleep. I don't miss a day. Like, I'm there. But that's not going to make me great at my work.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think it's just more about choosing your moments.
Yeah.
So it's like, in this moment, I choose to focus and be all in as a mom.
Yeah.
And in this moment, I choose and focus and be all in with my work. And it means that maybe that journey takes longer, but there's no balance.
Yeah, because you're teaching in Thailand and in Hong Kong as well. So you're flying everywhere. That's why I'm like, you're gone, like, you're back in Hong Kong 4
days. I'm in Hong Kong. 3-4 days.
In
Thailand.
Yeah.
So going back and forth. I'm trying to manage the best way that I can now.
Yeah.
And I think in our family, we try to be very honest about the needs.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you actually need from me?
Yeah.
And then I will deliver that.
Yeah.
You know, like, instead of just having this idea of what I think I should be doing. But then my kids are so much older now too.
Yeah.
Like, we can have these conversations.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's different. When they're younger, I think it's definitely, every phase of mothering has its challenges.
Yeah.
When they get older, because they are more independent, you do have more time. But it's a different kind of time, because you worry and you spend more time kind of dealing with your own ideas about what you think things should be.
Yeah.
Versus what the reality is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is your goal now? Like, these couple of years, let me know. What's your goal? What are you looking for? Or like in life, or like, let's do your life, like your goals.
I just want to have a positive impact on the people that I come across in my life.
Yeah.
That's it. I just want to be an energy that heals. I don't have huge goals other than to be...
But you are doing that. I want you to know, because like whenever you touch base with someone or have that conversation, you do give them that impression. Like, somehow you're like, talk to KEIKO. Oh, it felt so much better. It's like the way you know, you tell people things, and the way you encourage them. You are doing a good job. You are
doing a good job.
No,
too.
you are. Like, look at that. Whenever I compliment you, you come back and say, you're doing. We're trying. I'm trying. But I know. But yeah, you are doing. You're doing such a good job, because flying around, kids, husband, and I mean, I know it's a lot, but you know, we all have goals, and you're a person that doesn't like I never hear you complain so much. You're just like, oh yeah, it's hard. Okay, I'm going to work this through, make it happen. You know?
I think that we see the best 10% of everyone.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that I think people carry a lot of pain. I think people carry a lot of struggle. I think, you know, so you never really know what people are going through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be nice to people. Like, people don't ever know, like, honestly, the shit you hear or the people that damages you. Like, they don't know what you've been through.
Yeah.
Even people are like, why are you always so happy or smile? I go, you know what? To that one person I smile to, I made a difference for them.
Yeah.
I go, because I'm a person who feels like down low and like I've been through emotionally like a lot of trauma with family and work. And it's just like if I were someone going through a hard time and that person out of the blue, I don't know, just smiles at you. And you're like, made my day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
And I think I'm the same. I think like, you know, the last 4 years have been incredibly challenging.
Yeah.
I have cried, I feel like, more in the last 4 years than I have in my entire life. I don't see that as a bad thing. You know, now I look at my life experiences and I see that it's, I don't know, like breaking my heart, but breaking my heart open. I'm so much more real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good thing though, right?
Yeah.
You're breaking your heart. Like
your heart breaks, but you break open.
Yeah.
And you become, in a way, so much more alive.
Yeah. You're like setting yourself free.
Yeah.
I think it's like, as well said, we've been through a lot of trauma due to a different age, different stages, and we just carry all the stuff with you, and you just have to kind of like let it go, break it free, and then learn the changes, learn the differences, and you see so much more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also like you said, when you are low and you have that one moment of random kindness, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And I think like in general, people underestimate their value and importance to society, the universe. Like every single person is so powerful.
Yeah.
So important.
That's why I always tell people, I go, be kind.
Yeah.
You know?
Your impact is huge.
Yeah. Just a little touch of, even just a hi, you know?
Yeah. It's like, you know, when you feel like somebody sees you, you know, like in that moment, it's that very real human connection of like, I see you, and I see what you're going through. I feel you. Yeah. And it's not about making anything better, but it's that moment. That
moment you share with, like, you don't know, just a smile. So that's why my mom's like, you talk and smile. I go, I'm in the supermarket, like, hi, good morning. Yeah. I go, that's just my character.
And you have always been so full of light.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what you're going through, you bring, like, such an open heart. Yeah. It's like everything you've gone through has not closed your heart. Everything, it's the same thing. Everything that you've gone through has just made you a brighter, more compassionate, beautiful person.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You too. I feel it, Toby. You try so hard.
Yeah.
You do. You try really hard to do the right thing, to support, to love.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
You're amazing. Stop. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming and sharing so much.
Oh, I love you so good much. I love you so much. Thank you for having me. This is so good.
Thank you.
Oh, I can tell you a story about when you first started to like John.
He always says I did say you were hot. And that was it. I didn't mean for it to really happen. He always says, oh yeah, admit. It's like, you know what, Ko, right?
Yeah.
I was like, no, I liked you first, but 係你追我咯 right?
When he knew he had an opportunity, I think
Yeah.
then he was like, oh, actually, because maybe he thought, you were out of his league before. You know what I mean? John, we love you. But I remember we had a girls' night.
Oh, yes.
And then I invited him to come out.
Yeah, it was a test. Yeah. He's like, I was like, oh, is he coming? I just curled my hair as well. I was in a new role in acting. And then, by the time he came, I had to leave, right, for work.
Yeah.
We just crossed paths a little bit.
But he came and there were 15 girls. And he was literally sitting there. The only boy. And he was like, why did you invite me to this thing? And then I didn't know that you were leaving. So, he literally came. I was like, oh, Toby's going to be here. He came for you to leave and then just spent the rest of the time at a girls' night with us.
Yeah. And he did. He did have fun just listening to you, just talking.
Just talking about everything like breastfeeding.
Yeah. Yeah, he was telling me. He goes, I don't know what happened there. I was just sitting listening to people saying breastfeeding and all the woman stuff and all the period.
And he just sat
yeah,
and chilled. But, that was the beginning of you
and
guys.
then Emily did the rest when I was doing, when I was I was doing a charity fair for work. You came every day to find me. I remember he came over and kissed me and I'm like, stop, we're out in public.
You guys are so cute. And the matching shoes.
I know.
Matching shoes.
Somehow we pretend we didn't match, but we do match.
And the vibes together, super cute couple. And then now with your kids.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful family. You guys are beautiful.
If for me, it was something funny about you was that's when we met John as well. You were drunk, but we were you remember that time? We were all taking a group picture. We were like, yay. And she's like, wait for me. She flies in. No, literally, she flies and falls from her body. We were like, what was happening? And you fell and you posed and you were on the floor. We're like, KEIKO, are you okay?
I had these ideas in my head of this photo bomb that I had wanted to do. So there's a group photo and I thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I was just flying in the photo?
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
No. I just landed on the floor but I laughed. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was super fun.
It was super fun. Those were the days.
So much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Too much.